In episode 2 of His and Her Bodies, Barbells and Bagels, we will be discussing contest prep for mainly the novice competitor, and we're going to be talking about lots of the common mistakes, things that we maybe did wrong or that we've heard have occurred with clients in the past. And we're also going to give you some top tips for first timers or anyone who has maybe stuffed up their first comp prep a little bit, and some of the inside scoops into how to get the best physical results, but also tips on presentation and many, many more other topics in terms of competing. So tune in and we will have some top tips for you on contest prep. Welcome to episode 2, Jazzy. How you feeling?
I'm alright, not too bad. What are we talking about today?
I should probably say that I call you Jazzy because most people are not going to know what we're talking about.
I've got a shitload of nicknames, yeah. Stupid nicknames. Jazzy, Pumpkin.
So
Why'd you call me Pumpkin? Oh yeah, because I was fat and I still had abs. Little ridges.
Yeah, it was Pumpkin. But we're not going to beat around the bush today because we hate podcasts where people just talk about their personal lives for the majority of it.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm not a fan of bush either, you know. So let's skip the bush, trim the bush, and get on with the topic. All
right, so today, contest prep with Mclaney, aka Jazzy Mclaney.
AKA Mr. Inappropriate.
Yeah, so it is just us today, but we will be having some guests on in the future. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode and giving us some feedback on that. We know it was a long one, so we'll make sure today that we are getting to the point.
Not talking as much shit and getting off on a tangent. I love a tangent.
We do love a tangent.
I love the word tangential.
You're already on a tangent.
Okay, let's tangent ties.
So, let's get into our tips for the week. So, guys, let's get into it. What's your tip for him this week?
Men first. Mine this week, we should call this more of a rant for me, because last week was how I hate dumbbell flies. This week is, do you know what?
You're going to go off on a tangent.
A tiny bit. Chris Ormsby used to do a wicked...
shout out
Ormsbeard. Used to do a wicked thing called Get Fucked Fridays. We should bring that in as a little skit from time to time.
All right, back to the point, Jess.
Anyway, yeah. My tip for him this week is... I'm just seeing a lot like... This is something that I personally, as a coach, feel, and I think a lot of people do as well, is the importance of balance between effort and execution. So what I mean by that, basically, I just think there's too much wanky shit going on around at the moment where people are focusing on becoming literally like a model squatter, or your squat has to look good, but like as simple as a perfect cable row. And it's like, for fuck's sake, you know.
You're not going to fuck yourself up that bad.
How are you going to screw that up? And I get it. There's a point where your execution of the exercise has to be very good.
And we are sticklers for form.
We're proper form Nazis. Like, we're to the point where some of our clients will send us these joyful messages saying, I've squatted 100 kilos for 5 reps. And if we pick a tiny little fault in there and basically crush them, that's because we're form Nazis. But there's just a point where, you know, you don't need to do it on every exercise where it has to be faultless. You know, there's a point where you're so good at that exercise that you need to just put more weight on there. And that's where you need to add the effort into it. Yeah. So you've nailed the execution, get the fuck on with it.
It's like clients saying, I don't know why I'm not getting stronger. And I'm like, are you putting more fucking weight on the bar? And they're like, I just want you to check my form again. I'm like, your form's fine. Get the fuck off with it.
Yeah, so nail the execution. That's awesome. But you know what? That's more of a case of, I think your squats, all your big compound exercises,
very important too,
then you start to overload them with the effort. And that's where you start seeing the magic. Okay, you're not going to get amazing results if you're squatting a shitty weight perfectly. You need to think about progressive overload and getting more weight on the bar. And when it comes to these accessory exercises like cable rows and pull downs and bicep curls and isolations and stuff, you still need to put some weight on them as well. And get the fuck on with it. So my tip before I get too tangential is find that balance. Don't be the dickhead who half reps everything in the gym because you want to put so much weight on the bar and show off.
Or have your mate spot you and do the reps.
A few of them tonight. No one likes those dudes. And do you know what? You could have 200 kilos on a bench press and no one would respect you if your mate is upright rowing most of it. So don't be that dude. But at the same time, if you're not getting any gains, yet your cable row looks fucking phenomenal, you know what? Get on with it.
And you're on number one on the stack.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? All right, we get it. You're pulling your elbow down and behind or whatever, but shift some weight as well. So my tip is find a good balance between effort, so the weight, and the execution, and then progressively overload every week to try and get stronger.
And I'll add a little bit in there, and I guess to summarise old Jazzy's rambles, which he likes to do.
It's only Wednesday, and I'm saying get fucked.
Which is normally I'm the one saying that, but it's a surprise. But I guess my opinion on that is I agree, and I also think that it's very important to respect where you're at in your training. So what I mean by that is if you're a novice and you're a first timer in the gym, I'm going to be the opposite. I'm going to be like, your form, I want form on everything.
Of course.
And then once you've nailed that and you move to more of an intermediate or advanced, that's when, shift some fucking weight. Like, there is no reason as to why your squat shouldn't be increasing if your form's pretty bang on, but you're scared of you're going to get injured or you're scared of this, and you're putting fear in your brain and you haven't even tried. So I think don't worry about fear. Get in there, but also be safe with your form. But get the fuck on with it.
I think that's a good point. Yeah, actually, I forgot. Is where you're at in your training is perfect. You know,
why I added it.
Yeah, fist pump. But in terms of we're talking about slightly more along the intermediate and onward. And that's where periodization comes in.
If you've been training more than a couple of years with some decent weight, get on with it.
You should be shifting some weight.
Yeah.
But your heavy may not be someone else's heavy. That's fair enough.
That's a good point.
I'm not going to look at you and go, "Oh, you're not benching 100." Do you know what? That might be heavy for you.
Yeah, heavy is relevant to your journey, and I think that's an important one to touch on there as well, because what we mean by that is if you're squatting 60 kilos, which is not bad. Say you're a female and you're squatting 60 kilos and you're getting 6 reps out. Now that might be your heavy for 6 reps. So the next week you'd be trying to push for 65 kilos or 62 kilos, 61.5 kilos.
Put 2 collars on.
Exactly. Some form of progression. It doesn't mean that you need to now try to jump up to 80 all of a sudden. But we are going off on a tangent. So for her tip, as I've just polished off my last bit of my kombucha.
Nice. Sophisticated.
I am sophisticated. My for her tip this week is kombucha. So really simple. But I'm doing a health tip this week. And I've really got into my kombuchas of late.
Oh, why is that?
Because Jazzy likes his kombucha.
Yeah, exactly. She used to give me shit about kombucha.
I just thought they were really expensive for what they were.
Yeah, they used to be. They used to be really expensive.
Now I only ever buy them when they're on special.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And they're always on special.
My tip RE kombucha is the fact that I have a very sensitive digestive system, which everyone knows about. You hear me talking about pooping and farting a lot. Shorty knows too much, but I do suffer from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and a lot of probiotics and prebiotics are really good for my gut health and really relaxing it. And I do take probiotics, but sometimes it's good to get different forms of probiotics as well. I tend to be a little bit sensitive to dairy, and a great source of it is obviously yogurt, but I found that that's been upsetting me lately. So I've actually pulled that out of my diet, and I've been adding in some kombucha, and it's been really, really good for that. Not only that, the fact that it has live probiotics in it, but it's just the fact that when you are dieting, when you're on prep, and you feel like something's sweet, it's a really great option that isn't full of artificial crap.
That's brilliant.
I mean, I love me an old diet beverage occasionally, but to be honest, when you're looking at little things on the weekly, like bloating and food sensitivity, and you're wanting to cut out all potential things that are affecting that, then I think it is great to do that. Now, tip for kombucha, can be expensive. I do often want to drink the whole bottle, and I've been buying the big ones, but what you can do is you only really need a little bit to get the benefit. So I'd say 100 mils a day, and you can splice it with soda water, which is what I've been doing lately, even sometimes with a little bit of extra lemon, and that's a really good way to get a little bit more longevity out of your kombucha and also not spend an arm and a leg because it is very expensive. My other tip on kombucha is buy the bigger bottles. You'll definitely get more bang for your buck. I think I got a big one tonight for $5. And that's got, I think, 750 mils. So I should get a week out of it.
You get those tiny little ones, which are convenient for traveling and whatever, but
expensive.
It's expensive because it's $3-4 for that little bottle when it's $6-7 for a
big one.
6-serve one. So.
Exactly. So that is my tip for gut health, kombucha.
The thing I like to add to that about kombuchas is there.
Can you get off my for her tip?
Well, you talked about mine for him, so I'm going to jump on yours. There's a variety of kombuchas. That's the thing.
Yeah, brands, flavors,
and also just have a quick sneak peek at the carb contents.
That was my next point.
But my thing is, I like kombuchas that have a little bit more relevance in terms of like adding the ginger and some extra little
I got a ginger peach one.
Yeah, it's a nice. So you can get some sort of shitty ones, but yeah, I like the ginger, the apples, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was going to touch on. Tip for kombucha, look at the carb content, compare them per 100 mils. You can generally figure out which one's going to be your best. So I tend to go for obviously the ones that are lower in carbs.
Some are very low.
Yeah, the one I got tonight was 1 gram per 100 mils, so that's perfect. But yeah, just be careful because some brands do add a lot more raw sugar to them, and a tiny bit of sugar, no issue. But when they're adding a lot and that carb content is more than like 10 or 15 per 100 mils, do you need it? Probably not. But if you're bulking and you got the calories, why not? But at the same time, look at why you're having it. So anyway, we're not going to bang on about kombucha too much.
I could talk about kombucha all night. Another one for that
Jazzy.
is coconut water. They stick sugar in there as well sometimes.
Yeah.
So, be careful of coconut water. All right.
Tangential again.
Tangential.
What's your favourite kombucha flavour?
I do like the lemon ginger with a little bit of honey. I find that works really well as well. Like even though I'm a big apple fan,
you're going to say big pooper then.
It does make me poop. I'm regular as clockwork, but I love the ginger, honey, and lemon because I feel it actually settles my stomach as well. Whereas the apple one tastes really nice, not as stomach settling. You know.
I don't think I've paid enough attention to it, like flavour-wise in terms of how they.
But I don't think you're as sophisticated as me in the old kombucha world just yet. You know.
Yeah, I'm new to it.
You'll catch up.
I do love a mango if I can get my hands on it.
Yeah.
I'm not. Don't mind me a pineapple. It tastes a bit like a fancy pina colada.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Stick
Without
a bit of rum in there.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So today we are talking about contest prep. The mistakes for novices. I did my first comp back in 2000 and I believe 12. God, what are we? 2018. 6 years ago was my first comp.
2018. Jesus, that sounds weird.
When was your first comp? 2013.
Yes.
Yeah.
October 2013.
Looking back at it, we think Sean was actually at my first comp, but
I saw her fall over.
That was my second
comp.
Oh,
second, right,
yeah. I didn't stack at the first one. So that's one of my tips. Don't fall over on stage. But yeah, we're going to talk about, I guess, some of the mistakes and the problems. Not so much the mistakes in terms of diet and training. We're not going to delve too much into that today.
No,
we're going to touch on it.
Not contest prep.
Yeah, but we're going to touch more on like the actual bigger stuff that people don't think about. Yeah. And it's more the shit that, like exactly like we said, the stuff that nobody thinks about. Yeah. So I guess for you, Shawnee, like as a bodybuilder, let's talk bodybuilding first. So if you're not interested in bodybuilding, I'll put a timestamp below to skip forward to the bikini section.
I talk a lot of shit, so it might be interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a cool topic because it shows the real difference between your first prep and my first prep. You know,
we had very different preps.
Very different preps because I went straight to the top, and
listen to that.
I went straight to the top because Lane Norton had kind of been around for a while, and he put me on to his first contest prep coach, Dr. Joe Klemczewski. Dr. Joe, Diet Doc.
So you're talking coaches.
Coaches, yeah. So he steered me straight in the right direction. So in terms of my own personal contest prep experiences and stuff, I didn't really have too many bad ones, but I had some stupid little things that you just really wouldn't think of. Like mine went very well in the scheme of actually winning and all of that.
Well, I think when it comes down to like why I said we're not really going to talk about nutrition and training is because that comes back to who's coaching.
Yeah, who's coach.
Like that is, and that's the top thing I had on my problem was I chose the wrong coaches for my first comp prep, whereas Sean chose very well did his research and whatnot.
Expensive, but it was very, very worth it. You know?
Yeah, so I think, like you were saying, so I guess obviously training and nutrition wasn't really a mistake. You nailed that because you had a coach, you were in safe hands. But what were the things that you really would love to tell someone if they were a first-time bodybuilder getting in there in that final peak week, show day, all the lead up to it?
Well, or even as a coach, my top tip number one is, have you been to a show?
Yeah.
You know, like, how many people do you get that say, I want to compete, and blah, 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 and you say to them, have you been to a show? And they say, no.
Yeah.
So that's why, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
how
do you even know what you get?
Yeah.
How do you know? Oh, because my mate. You know, your mate might have fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Like, I won everything in my first season, but I actually didn't enjoy it that much. Just because I came from powerlifting, which is very objective, and I've come to subjective. But yeah, have you been to a show?
Why didn't you like it?
Wasn't used to wearing a banana hammock that was, you know, so small. Posing trunks that was so small. Just felt very foreign to me because I've come from very objective sports. You know, where you're dealing with numbers and scores and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden someone's got to judge you. And the irony is I was already prepping people here. Because I started.
And all these people say, you shouldn't prep people until you've prepped yourself.
I've been a trainer for 8 years already. So,
yeah.
But go to a show. That's rule number one. Because.
But you'd been to shows before you.
I'd been to shows lots of times, yeah, and know your sport. So many people don't know bodybuilding, you know.
Yeah, like the coaches that
so
I had.
Go and have a look, because it's the thing that you'll realise on the day is it's a long fucking day. Like, from start to finish, I think especially bikini.
Yeah.
But as a bodybuilder, it's not too bad, because you literally whack a tan on, whack some trunks on, and get on stage.
You've got to sit in hair and makeup for hours.
You do so much, and you got to spend so much as well, and all that. But I would say the first thing that I really know that I fucked up on was my tan.
Oh my god. We're going to have to show some photos. We'll put a photo up of Sean's tan on his social media. Will you put it on your Instagram? Your first face tan?
Will I? Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Do it before and after.
Yeah. Well, my nickname when I was at Power Fitness was Kerry and Angela used to call me Casper. Yeah. Because I'm obviously very, very pasty. And I turned up on the day with no tan on, because someone said you can just put one coat of Dream Tan on.
So he's rocked
up. Yeah, I just rocked up, and everyone was like, "Oh, this dude's got no tan. He's going to be that weirdo on stage."
Obviously, your coach hadn't thought you'd be fine.
Well, and that's it, because you think,
you just assume the client would know. Yeah.
Surely you know how to tan. So I whacked the tan on there and then backstage, all on my own, not realising that, you know, I'm not very flexible, trying to reach crevices and all of that sort of stuff. But the main thing was, I put the tan on my face.
It was funny.
Like, because you tan up to the neck and the jawline, and
you
then
look like you'd been down like a coal mine.
Yeah. Got the black lung.
Yeah, you literally look like him in Zoolander. Imagine Derek Zoolander. What's that scene in it?
Where he's
like
in
homeless?
the coal mines.
Yeah.
Black lung pop. You tan up to your neck, and then you use proper tanning makeup. And I remember going in the gym.
And this is a lot of guys stuff this up.
Oh, so many guys do it. It looks terrible. It looks like...
Because girls get their makeup done, so they don't have to
you
worry
have your
about
makeup. And guys have to put their makeup on as well.
Guys should get makeup done, yeah.
Well, I went into the gym the next day. After winning everything, Angela Merlot, who does tans and stuff, just looks at me and says, "Your tan was fucking terrible. You don't tan your face." And I was like, well, I didn't know that at the time, did I? And it looked like someone had pretty much smeared poo all over my face, because as soon as the first place you'll start sweating is your forehead, isn't it? And then basically I had like pooey tan lines streaming down my face. It was awful. Yeah. So I don't know how it still won.
Because no one did A and B.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, everyone from IMBA the week before was in that. They'd all won.
A and B is like
bitches.
The fucking shit entry level show in WA. I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
Look at the size of the trophies, though.
Yeah, because they have to make up for something. You know what they say about the size of it? They're making up for something.
I don't even care.
I got like a medal for my first comp.
When I'm 70 years old, people will say, "That's a nice trophy." Mm-hmm. And you'll probably set them straight and say, "Oh, it was just A and B."
I'll be like, A and B.
So, yeah. So
they'll be like, "Oh, A and B doesn't even exist anymore."
No. So I fucked up my tan. That's the first thing is, I would say, research tanning very, very well.
Yeah, I still don't know, I still always
trust
hard. In other people. I've done my own tan for shows. I've had other people do my tans. I've had a few different experiences with tanning. My first show, I stuffed up my tan as well, because I didn't get someone that had ever done comp tans to do my tan.
That's a good one. Comp tanner.
The coaches I was working with, they were they basically said that they had it all sorted. They were like, "I've got your tanner sorted, I've got your makeup sorted, your hair." I was like, "Sweet, don't have to worry about anything." But I didn't realise that they just booked like a friend that did spray tan. So
some creepy guy around the corner.
So two mistakes. I chose to wear a white bikini for my first comp, which isn't terrible, Like, it
Looks
suits my
good.
complexion. Problem was, my tanner obviously didn't do dark enough comp tan. So when you wear a white bikini and your tan's not dark enough, I was just white.
Makes you look more white.
Yeah, and then they actually did my face makeup too dark. So I had a dark face with this light body because the chick had never done stage makeup, which you actually have to do it the other way around, where you want your face a little bit lighter than your body, probably a shade to 2 shades lighter. Because of the lighting, it comes down your face. So I looked like I had bags under my eyes because my tan, I probably did because I was like that depleted and fucking malnourished. Yeah. But I was obviously, they were like, oh, we'll save money, we'll just get your local hair and makeup artist and tanner to do it. Don't skimp money on this shit. Like, unless you know that person can do a good job and you have seen them do either stage makeup before. People that do dance makeup are pretty good. That have done dance. Hair doesn't matter so much. Like, you could go get your hair done at a local hairdresser to save time. Just get a good style and make sure, like, either dead straight or a soft wave, whatever. But makeup and tan, because often normal makeup artists, they don't actually even have dark enough shades. So you need to make sure that they've got that, and it's also going to stay on all day. That's a really big point.
It's really gross.
It's very gross. So another thing that no one told me, actually, my first comment we don't have in our notes have written down.
How gross you're going to be?
Well, no one told me until the day that I couldn't wear deodorant on comp day.
Don't go out on a date after your comp.
You will stink. Yeah. But deodorant.
Yeah.
A lot of clients, I say, don't put deodorant on because, it turns your armpits green. Then you put your arm up on stage to say thanks to the judges.
Is that the aluminium in the deodorant?
I think
Reacts
so.
With the tan, especially Gentana.
Give you a tip, ladies, here. What I do so I don't stink on comp day is I spray perfume in my hair.
Oh,
yeah, there's a big tip for you. So
I just embrace it.
I also spray perfume on my clothes I'm wearing backstage. So if my friends and stuff are out there and they want to give me a hug and I've got my robe on, then I smell like perfume.
I do the opposite.
I'm polite.
I don't shower for 5 days because then my competition don't want to stand next to me. And then I'm on my own. I get to stage to myself.
Well, that's a complete lie because I looked with you last comp prep.
And I smell fresh as a daisy?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
You don't really have BO.
I don't really. I drink a lot of water. And
I get worse BO than you.
Yeah. Oh, she does. Jesus. You're sweaty though.
Yeah, I'm a sweaty mess. But anywho, so there's a tip for you ladies. Spray perfume in your hair. Gents, if you get bad BO, spray it in your hair, bit of aftershave.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Even because if you spray perfume even on your wrists where you normally would, your tan will run.
Still, yeah.
So you need to be really careful. Make sure it's super dry.
I would say another thing about tanning here's a good one, is no one told me how to get the fucker off.
Yeah.
Like my first tan was Dream Tan, which is a really thick Nutella. It's like smearing Marmite on yourself.
Yeah, but you look like a golden statue.
What do you call yours? Vegemite. But yeah, and it's like a really thick paste. And I remember going through one entire packet of baby wipes, stood backstage with these little 10 by 10 baby wipes, just trying to smear this fucking shit off. And then I think it was Craig Winter came up to me with a big towel and a bottle of baby oil and just smeared like most of it off in a solid.
You're like, you're going to give me a rub down?
I was like, cheers, Craig. You told me that about half an hour ago. Yeah, Jesus. He was after me trophy.
Warm water and baby oil actually works really well.
Is it?
So you have a warm bath first, get your skin soft.
Moist.
Then get the baby oil, then scrub, then get back in the bath.
Nice.
And that's how you get it off.
I did a packet of baby wipes backstage till I was red raw. Then probably one swoop of a towel on my back from Craig, and then probably another pack of baby wipes that night. So, because it was stupid.
But it is important because I've done 3 shows, 3 weekends back to back before, and you've got to get all that tan off to get the next tan on. And I found by my 3rd one, it was just looking a bit skanky. Like my skin was so dry.
Like psoriasis.
Exactly. So that's definitely an important one.
Should we move on?
Yes.
Tano.
So the next one that we've written down for you.
Are we sticking to bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Is this a tip for everyone or a tip for me?
Oh, just say it.
All right. Well, I should say this is natural bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So natural bodybuilders, we tend to not really get testicular atrophy. So it's kind of hard. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. When I won Carafa, my one and only feedback from the judges was stop playing with your balls on stage. So my little trick is to have a wank on comp morning. And I honestly mean that because you'll fit in your trunks a lot easier. Forgot to do it this last comp. How much of a nightmare was it getting in those custom-made
Creative
trunks.
bikinis.
Yeah, creative bikinis.
Shout
They
out.
were amazing.
Shout out Claire Skeet.
They were honestly amazing. The old scrunch bum.
Boys, get your posing trunks custom made. There's a tip for you.
Oh, there's a big tip for you, yeah. But yeah, smash one out on the morning of comp and you'll be a lot more relaxed on stage and you'll fit in your trunks a lot
because
nicer.
You hear some people say the opposite. Because you know when you hear about sporting people and they're like, don't have sex, keep your testosterone high, don't wank, blah, 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 because you're going to be more like pumped up and vascular and whatnot.
You're going to take a pre-workout backstage if you want to. Obviously, if it's natural, make sure it's not banned. Your adrenaline's going to be there. Some people get so much adrenaline they get a boner on stage.
Yeah,
How frequently did you see that? Jesus, there's one.
I've seen a boner on stage.
Yeah.
Side pose.
Woo, pitch in a tent. There was a teen in a couple of comps a while back, and it was like, "Good on you, son. Well done. He's natural." If they're a bit saggy in the old crotch of the trunks, test them because they're probably not natural. But yeah.
Yeah, I suppose we shouldn't hub on that one too much.
No, but that's a little nifty trick for you.
Can also relax you a little bit, gents,
What about you? Does it work for ladies? I don't know. You don't have to worry about ladywood. I can see your ladywood.
It's probably the last thing I'm thinking about on comp morning.
Yeah. Do you reckon it hits your sex drive more than guys?
Depends. I'd say I've had a few natural male... I had a male physique competitor. It hit him pretty bad, my old housemate. I think it's just an individual. I think it comes down to your natural libido and then obviously also how aggressively you've had to diet, how lean you are. Maybe that's a sign we could have got you leaner.
Yeah, I probably wasn't lean enough.
But definitely I think like for girls it's never something that I've said to a client like you should have a FAP on
FAP away. Yeah. It's on your client list. Tan, makeup, FAP, brush your teeth.
Yeah,
and
it's not something.
paw cream.
It's not something that I've ever had to think about.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there may be an issue there.
What else we got? All right. Let's talk about posing. Posing for. Do you think people do enough posing?
Never.
No, I think that's a big comp mistake.
Especially my
for
first
novices.
comp.
I even think not even just novices for that. I just think most people like you just can't pose enough.
No, because I think especially for bodybuilding. When you pose, it's almost like a workout. Like for bikini, it's not that tiring, but when you are doing...
yours is you need to make it look more natural.
Yeah.
Ours you just need to know how to pop certain muscles. So it is going to hurt. You are going to have to flex. You can't over flex.
I mean, the goal of any posing, whether it be male, female, bodybuilding, physique, bikini, is to find poses that suit your physique. So a lot of the time what people will do, I find with posing, is they'll see a video online or they'll get one posing lesson off someone or go to a class. This is probably the biggest problem I find with classes. And the person at the class will teach one style of posing for everyone because you kind of have to. I've taken classes before. Yep. It's very hard to say, okay, if you're pear-shaped, I want you to pose like this.
Do you have long quads or short shins?
Yeah, so I would highly recommend any beginners get at least 2 to 3 one-on-one posing sessions with a coach. Yeah. And also go to classes because they just help with overall confidence in a group.
Get in front of people.
But don't then change your posing on the day because you see someone else do it and it looks good on them.
Yeah.
It might A, not suit your physique, or B, it might not suit your personality, which I know sounds weird, but that's really important for bikini and men's physique because with bikini in particular, you have a certain persona on stage and for my girls that are, say, novices, beginners, and super nervous, and they're not someone that's ever done, like, dance or anything like that, which was me at my first comp, very athletic background.
Even though you're a very good dancer.
I'm an excellent
you have some
dancer.
moves.
I actually used to do cheerleading at school.
No,
but again, it was, like, fast dancing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, I've never done, like, ballet or, like lengthening.
Spirit
finger shit.
Yeah.
So my tip for posing is suit your physique and your personality. So
Definitely.
By personality, I mean, if you're someone that's not overtly sexual, like a sexy girl, and I'd say that wasn't me, my first comp. It wasn't natural. So I had to go more for like the smiley fun look. But now that I'm feeling myself a little more, got some sass, my routine's a lot more sexy than what it used to be.
But it's still not sultry, I don't think.
No,
it's got a little bit, but
still a bit sassy.
But some people can do sultry very well.
Whereas I look like I have a resting bitch face if I do that. Yeah, definitely. I think definitely learn what suits you. And my other massive big tip for posing for males and females, and I see this actually a lot in male bodybuilding, is fucking smile.
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds simple, but like, smile every once in a while, because you've got to think these judges, this is the way I like to say to my clients, these judges have been sitting there for like 6, 8, 10, 12 hours. And if you come up on stage and you look like a miserable bastard and you can't even give them the decency to crack a smile, at least at the end of your routine, why do they want to have you in a call out?
Yeah.
Like,
you've got to be infectious.
Yeah.
You know, not literally, because you haven't showered. But like, there's got to be something to you that's a point of difference. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you said the judge has been sat there for literally 12 hours. They need to see something that's going to just pop and wow them. And sometimes a smile can really be as simple as that. Yeah. I find, everyone sees in bodybuilding, they see like Rolly Winkler and it looks like he's taking a massive shit. And I've spoken to so many judges and most of them just say they don't like that.
You don't want to overly pose in bodybuilding. We were at a seminar last week for IFBB and Josh Lenardowitz even said that.
Yeah.
He said if you look like, even as a bodybuilder, you're posing too hard and everything's shaking and you look uncomfortable, that's too much. Ease it back a little bit. And that's the same in bikini. If you're like tensing so hard in a side pose and it looks forced, relax a little bit. Sometimes it's just relaxing into a pose. The big tip that I always say, like in the transitionaries, and it's probably similar with bodybuilding, is get into the right position and then relax. So like I always say to the girls, get your hips right, then get your shoulders right, tense, and then kind of take a breath in and a breath out and kind of let yourself sit into the pose. Yeah,
we're almost the opposite. It's kind of nice, smooth, robotic transition, deep breath in, and then go about 90% into
it is the opposite. Yeah, ours is like stay tight in your transition and then kind of relax into it. But yeah, I think posing you can never do enough of. And like we've said, I would also recommend that you do your posing with a mirror to begin and then transition to filming it and watching it back, because on the day you're not going to have a mirror. So remember
and things are back to front. And that sounds really obvious, but you turn, when they say quarter turn to the right, because you've been looking in a mirror, your brain kind of goes a bit funny, I find, when you're new to it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why videoing and looking back, because sometimes you think you nailed it and then you look back on your video and you're like, oh, that's horrendous.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, or little things for girls I find, like, and even for guys, is, a side pose and you think you've got your chest around far enough and you don't, you can't see your back shoulder. Little things like that you can't see till you watch it back on a video.
So in terms of how frequently should you be practicing posing, what's your recommendation?
If you're shit.
So we're 20 weeks out. How to stage day? Do you do something where
I don't recommend people pose too much too early on when you're still a little bit fat, because
you feel awful.
And your posing will change as you get leaner. So there might be poses that suit you better when you're leaner as opposed to when you're softer. Yeah. So I say to my girls, if they're novices, 20 weeks out, do it once a week. Yeah.
Understand the poses.
Yeah, understand it. Work on your footwork, all of that. Then once we get to about 8-10 weeks out, maybe twice a week, and then like the last 4 or 5 weeks, probably 3 to 4 times a week. Yeah. Doesn't need to be forever, but maybe one bigger session and then like 5 or 10 minutes just like after cardio or like before bed, whatever. And it can also be a great way for your coach to assess your physique in a movement rather than photos. Sometimes I like my clients to send me posing videos so I can see their physique in transitions.
Especially the last 6 weeks.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, my first comp, and another tip here is if you are super nervous, which I was so nervous my first comp.
Which more than likely will be.
I had people teaching me posing that had never competed in bikini before. I had a male teaching me how to pose, and he had prepped a few girls for like figure and fitness, but not bikini. And so basically my biggest mistake with my whole first ever comp prep was I chose the wrong coaches that didn't have enough experience, that knew nothing about the actual federation or division I was doing. And yeah, it was just a bad time. Luckily, I went to 2 posing classes with the amazing Amy Fox, which was where I first met her back in 2013.
She's awesome.
And I did do a one-on-one with her just before the comp, but it was almost a little bit late. It was like a week before, and no, not even, I think it was like 4 days before the show. And it was enough to tidy up a few things, but it was too late. So that's another tip. Don't leave your posing too late till the end, especially to change your routine. Yeah. Because you should have your routine down pat like 2 weeks out, and then just be perfecting it.
And know what, for bikini, is it a T-walk, is it an I-walk, is it what? So know your federation.
It always changes, yeah.
Know your federation and know how they want you to pose.
Exactly. And you shouldn't, I think a big one is don't expect your coach to know those things, because like I've been prepped by...
If they're overseas coaches, especially.
Yeah, I mean, when I was prepped by Lane, I didn't expect Lane to go check what time I was on stage and to go know if I'm doing an IRT walk. I tell my girls this stuff because I'm like an overbearing coach and I've been through it. But at the same time, I would do your own research. It's really, really important. Don't expect that that's a coach's job, because a coach's job is to get you on stage, get you lean, get you in condition, and all the posing, hair, makeup, the times, the walk, all of that is really your job as a client. But definitely ask them questions so that they can help you, or ask other people who have competed before, like who to go to. Because I have sometimes girls that I prep and they live in Melbourne and they're like, hey, like who should I go to hair and makeup? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't live in Melbourne. Like I'd try to help you. I'll put a post out.
Yeah, we'll try it on Facebook.
Yeah, but you know, do your best to do your own research. I got a client competing in New York. Like I'm not going to fucking know any hair and makeup artists in New York. Like,
I've done some mates back in England, and yeah, I can't say I asked him, is it a T-walk or whatever, you know, and who's going to do your posing. You can ask what tan are they going to use, just in case it's something that you know is dog shit or a really good one. But yeah.
And the other big thing with tan is look at, sometimes the actual federation will have a recommended tan.
Yeah, or a band.
There'll be one that like sponsors the show. I would always recommend just going with the one that sponsors the show, because at the end of the day, the majority of the people on the stage will be wearing that tan, so you will look the same.
Yeah.
If you get on stage, and like for my first comp, I was lighter than everyone else, and then a few of my girls at Arnold's last year, they were darker than everyone else, and they actually got marked down. So you want to be the same as the majority.
Then the judges will go, well, we picked this tanning sponsorship, we like that tan.
Yeah.
If you come on some random tan that's more sort of reddy based or greeny based
too
or orange, then you've already fucked up. So. Yeah,
which sucks. But stick with the host tan as close as you can.
Yeah.
And then also obviously the shades of tan. So that's probably the hardest thing, knowing if you're too dark or too light. And again, if you've got a coach, just send them a photo. You know, you can always get an extra coat, but you can't take coats off. So start light and go from there.
So I would say the point just then comes back to going to a show. Is doing your research on your federation and the show. Is don't just go and watch and just kind of get lost in the moment.
Sneak around backstage,
but actually pay attention. Are they walking out in a T shape, in a Y shape, in an L shape, whatever? What tan are people using? What sort of bikinis are looking good?
How do they wear their bikinis?
How are they wearing it? Yeah, is it up and over the hips?
I had mine way too low my first show.
Yeah, look for someone that looks the same as you.
Yeah.
And see what worked and what could have worked better.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
I think that's a big tip with girls for like hair and makeup as well. Like your hairstyle and your makeup and your whole presentation, it needs to flow. So even your jewelry, I even forgot to buy comp jewelry my first show. I didn't think about it. I rocked up on the day and I was like, oh, am I supposed to wear jewelry? I had to quickly run to the shops and buy some on show day.
Again, know your federation, know your division.
And again, like I have a list for my clients with all this stuff on it. Like you should, go buy X, Y, and Z on the day. Bring a towel, bring this, bring that. But a lot of coaches won't. Again, like we said, it's not their job. Especially if you have, say, a male coach, he's not going to really remember to be like, oh, go buy your jewelry. You wouldn't remember that if you had a client.
No, probably not, to be honest.
So I think that's a big one. Or even just ask questions. Like the amount of questions that my girls send me in peak week, I'd rather that than them not say anything. I'd rather them be like, hey coach, do I need this? Do I need that?
Yeah, when you've got your calls, write down all your questions and stuff. It's simple things you won't think about. Like for example, physique, you're not supposed to have a beard. And you see so many people on stage with beards.
Is that a natural rule?
I saw it a while ago. Okay. I don't know if it's still in it. We have to check if it's still in the pro league.
It's like bikini, you're not allowed to have a bush.
Try and find someone on the Olympia stage with a beard.
Or a bush.
A beard, slight pubage allowed.
Should we talk about body hair?
Yeah, I just think it's a good one actually. There's a good tip, is you're hairier than you think. Like
I had to shave Sean's anus.
Oh, no.
I had to
shave my ass?
I had to shave up into your hammy.
I shaved around my dot.
Around your gooch area.
Yeah. I'm pretty hairless.
We're not that hairy, both of us.
We're not. And people sort of always say, do you shave your legs and blah, blah, blah. And, not really. I've just got very blonde hair. But once you stick a super dark tan on, you see every tiny little fluff.
Light.
And, women, you've got little hairy fluffs on your boobs. And
I got marked down at a show once. I remember I did my own tan for this comp. It was all females in Melbourne. And one of my mates was on the judging panel. And I came off and was a little bit disappointed with how I went.
She said I could see your pubes.
No.
I can see your growler.
No.
Oh, all right.
He's actually Irish, so that kind of sounded spot on. And Billy says to me, like, I could see the hair on your hamstrings and your back legs.
Yeah.
And he said, and your tan on your
they're
hammies is
shiny.
patchy as well. So he's like, you had patchy hammies and tan, and we couldn't see then the definition. It didn't make it look as nice.
Yeah.
So like crazy
your
things
hair
like
was
that.
covering it,
Well, he
yeah.
said I had you in second and I had to mark you down to fourth. So crazy things like that. That, you know, you just skimp on that you shouldn't. And it was because I let a mate do a tan, and I think she was drunk when she did it, and we did it in dark lighting, so we couldn't see like what was going on.
Yeah, harsh lighting. Get it? You want to see every imperfection.
Go stand in the daylight, like in the glistening sun, see where you can see everything. And that's why, and that comp, I was like, oh, I'll just save on paying for a professional spray tan or do it myself.
And I'll save on razors.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, you have
Razors
mistakes from it. So I think that's a big one. Make sure that you don't skimp on things like makeup, hair, tan, posing. Pay for a posing coach. Don't be a Jew.
Don't be a Jew. Say that? Yeah,
it's a bit racist.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah. Sorry to our Jewish friends. But yeah, don't expect to pay $20 for someone to take you for a one-on-one posing session. It's the same as a personal training session. Pay someone $50, $75, $100, whatever they charge. Pay for that and get some really good feedback. Write down stuff. Ask them to record it if you have to. Whatever you need, but respect that person's time, and you're not going to get that at a group session. Like we said, group session, really, great. No. Expect to pay $20 for that. Yep. But when you're going to go to a one-on-one, don't be stingy on it. Expect that it's their time and their experience that they're helping you with.
Don't skimp on.
Same with coaching.
And that's what I was supposed to say then, is you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You know, I always say when you're picking your coach, there's differences in opinions. You know what? There's some amazing looking coaches who are fucking shit coaches.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's some really shit looking coaches who are really good coaches.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Hani Rambod. He doesn't really look like he's shredded or anything like that. Who's his clients?
Yeah.
Phil Heath from Jeremy fucking Buendia.
My girl crush, what's her name? Lauren, the chick with the jacked shoulders. The figure competitor that I want to be like.
The blonde-haired chick? Or...
Lauren Findlay.
Lauren Findlay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Heine's client.
Is he really? Oh, he's got her as well. Yeah.
She's a she.
No, he's coaching her. I mean.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I mean...
There he is.
So, but I think, yes, he's just a little baldy. He's a nugget, but you wouldn't look at him and go, that dude is Mr. Olympia champion for physique and whatever. But yeah, pick a coach. You get what you pay for more often.
Pick a coach more based on what they've done with their clients.
Look at their results.
Their results rather than where they are physically, because, I mean, it does help. I think it's important that they've potentially gotten on stage at maybe some point. I don't think it's necessary.
Or into very good shape.
Look at old Body Bio. Look at him. Yeah. Oh boy, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen what he used to look like. It's like if you look at Chris Aceto. Chris Aceto just looks like a normal business dude, but then you look at what he used to look like.
I'm sure that when we're in another 20 years and we're prepping people, we're going to look pretty...
I'm going to look fucking awesome, and so are you.
I would have pumped out a few children.
Pumped out a few kids, and then you'll be like Amanda Doherty, and you'll be looking, still awesome.
We'll see. We'll see. I think I might have hung up my trunks by then. But yeah, I think, choosing a coach, like I said, with my first prep compared to Sean's, I was just getting coached by the gym that I work at, so I kind of had to. It would have been like a little bit, I guess, frowned upon if I had gone somewhere else. I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't know any better. It wasn't like I had a terrible experience, to be honest, with the whole thing. It was more, there was just a lot of little things that got skimmed over, like the posing, the tan, the hair, the makeup, the fact that I was on keto probably unnecessarily for 12 weeks.
Jesus.
And another one that I was actually going to touch on was understanding the judging criteria. Yes. They didn't really understand the judging criteria for bikini. They thought it was just about getting me as lean as possible. And I was tiny, and my feedback was that I needed to put on muscle, and I probably came in too lean. So they were just trying to get me more and more dieted. I was probably ready 4 weeks out.
Bikini on stage is not bikini on the beach either. They should look very similar, but they don't.
No.
They're like bikini in terms of, okay, you look good in the bikini.
That's like ICM bikini.
Yeah. It still looks awesome. I just think when you're stepping into IFBB, it's just a whole different ballgame.
It's a lot more muscular.
You need more muscle,
leaner.
you need more shape, you got more shoulders, you got more booty, and a bit more sass,
Yeah. I think I thought it was about just a skinny contest, but It's about shape, balance, proportion, symmetry. So know the judging criteria. If you go on your federation's website, they will generally have a judging criteria, what you're actually being marked on. But a lot of the time, unfortunately, with bikini and physique in particular, it's not very specific. So they will say things like, be athletic, but not too athletic. Yeah. So it can be a little bit like that. But my tip for that would be, go and have a look at who won the last shows. Yeah. Or go and have a look at...
Regionally or Olympia-wise?
Well, both, really. I mean, it's changed now.
That's what
and if we're talking about specifically IFBB now, Tony Doherty, when we were at the workshop on the weekend, did say that we should look at the pro level and look at that as the standard, which is great. Whereas before, we were told for years in Australia that you need to look like an amateur, then become a pro, and then look like a pro, which is a bit retarded. So girls that had muscle were getting marked down. If you're coming in too lean, you're getting marked down. So I'm hoping that that's changing, but we'll see. We'll give a review after the run of shows.
He seems pretty adamant about it. It's the same as they've just added in the exciting new one, Classic Physique. And it's, as an amateur, I think I'm allowed like 84 kilos for my height, and then as soon as you turn pro, you're allowed like an extra 5 kilos. So it's, I mean, that's cool because you're bigger as a pro, but you don't look like a pro now.
It means you got to go take 3 years off to get pro ready.
So it just made no sense, but now it seems to be a bit more uniform. And especially Tony did say, look like a pro.
They used to give out the bikini pro cards at Arnold's, and then the girls would go in the pro show the next night. And they would just look like babies.
Oh, so you're like, you just won your pro card, didn't you?
Yeah, it didn't really sit that well. And,
that felt pretty shit as well. It's like, you just won your pro card and you're feeling on top of the moon, and then you've just been humbled as fuck, and it's like, oh,
then
Jesus,
you come last in your first
I'm an amateur in the pro league.
Yeah. So that's a big one. So understand the judging criteria.
That's a huge one.
Now, the next one that I kind of like my last one, but is... on the day of the show, be overly prepared for the fact that the show will probably 90% of the time run late. Yeah. Or sometimes I've seen it in ICM before where they run early, which they really shouldn't do.
You can be overly organised.
But you never know.
It sounds awesome, but
it's not really a good thing. Because if you're trying to peak for that stage time, and that's the big thing, if you're a coach listening to this, it's going to be near to impossible to peak your clients for the exact show time. Yeah. So what I tend to do is I try to map things out for my clients of hours pre-stage, but I always give leeway. If you are running behind, have this extra meal there ready, have these extra things with you on show day, so that if, say, your show time is pushed back 6 hours, you're not sitting around starving, which is what happened to me at my first show. I was on stage, I think 6 or 8 hours late, and I ran out of food. So I was literally just eating rice cakes, and I just ended up looking a bit bloated because...
You're so low volume on the day as well.
I needed like some chicken or like some protein, bit of salt, all those things. So be overly prepared on show day and understand that shows will not run on time, and don't be pissed off about it. Because a lot of people get really grumpy. They're like, oh, I don't know my exact show time. And I'm like, well, they don't know how many competitors, they don't know how long comparison rounds are going to take. And it's better for a federation to not rush you. Like, I would rather it be a little bit late, maybe not 6 hours. Things have gotten better. But wouldn't you rather be on stage half an hour later and them not rush than...
Oh, how long was I on stage on ICN in that last time? We were on stage for like 20, 30 minutes. That was awesome. I was sweating buckets.
Yeah, it's quality, and you've worked this hard for like 6 or 12 months, and then you get 5 seconds on stage. Sucks, so don't be annoyed like if the show doesn't go, I guess, to plan on the day, but be organised and overly prepared for it. Bring extra food, bring extra water, bring a pillow, have a lay down.
Pillow, that's a good one. Bring an iPod and
towel.
Well, these days you've got Netflix. Jesus, watch a movie.
Yeah.
But do you know what? In regards to timing of things, really how meticulous, like when we're not talking drugs and stuff like that, we're not talking diuretics and all of that crap.
No, we've never used any,
exactly.
touched any of that.
So it's, you're talking normal food and pre-workouts and all sorts of stuff. You're not going to respond that well that if you're half an hour late of having your M&Ms or your vascularizing glass of wine. It's not going to be the end of the world.
No, and just, if the show's running late, keep pumping up, keep moving around.
Don't get stressed.
Don't get angry at your coach because maybe they haven't responded to, your message within 5 seconds because you're like, their show's run late, should I eat 4 more M&Ms?
Yeah.
Like, eat if you're hungry. If you can't get in touch with your coach, because I've had clients on stage, when I was on stage in Ukraine, and I was getting coached by Lane then, and I was on stage at like his 4 a.m. or something. And he actually was up for my pre-judging, but then went to bed for my second round, which was like the top 10. And I was like, look, he's asleep. Like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were having a second round on that day. So, like, we just thought it was, like, straight through to finals, but they were doing, like, down to the top 10. Now, what am I supposed to do? Like, my coach is asleep because he's assumed I'm not back on stage. So it was just a case of just eating if I was hungry, having small bits of food, keeping moving around, and not freaking out, because stress is not going to have a good response on your body either.
I think in terms of hormones, when we come down to all of this like Poliquin crap about hormones and stuff, it's cortisol and stress is the only one that I think is really noticeably going to screw you up. So if you can not stress and just chill out, I'm sure a rice cake or a small handful of this, that and the other is not going to screw you up and smooth you over. So in terms of mistakes of that, would you say that you made any mistakes when you did that on your own? I
can't remember, to be honest. I probably I remember once when I wasn't super organised, I was just snacking on crap. Like I was snacking on like rice cakes and lollies and just shit that was just like making me a little bit bloated and not digesting that well. So that's what I mean. If it's more than, and I say to my girls, if you know it's going to be more than like a 2-hour wait, get like a solid meal in you. Get a bit of protein, get a bit of food in you.
Even if it's a half a meal.
And foods that you normally consume. Don't just start eating things like, you know, say you haven't had gluten for the last 6 weeks and then you're like, oh, I'm going to have a brownie. I'm going to have, yeah, exactly. Like, wait, it's probably not worth it. That's probably my biggest tip, yeah.
I have one last tip, I would say. And I'm sure Sam Atchell's going to hate me for this, but my own opinion, and I say this to the my competitors, is ICN very, very nicely put on all this spread of food in the middle of the
here we go.
of the backstage.
I know what you're gonna say.
Which is awesome.
Tell my girls what you told them about that food.
The one thing you have to do is, I mean, number one, it comes back to what you just said. That's why I brought it up. Is there's crisps, there's chocolates, there's sweets, there's pizza there. You probably haven't been eating that much. So if you're going on stage, probably not good to touch that until after the show. But I want you to sit back, relax, and just watch that table and watch how many STDs are spread all over that food. It's delicious. You know, you'll see bikini chicks and guys putting their balls in there. And remember,
people haven't showered for like 2 or 3 days.
So 2 or 3 days, and you're tucking a flap away or popping a nut back in your trunks. It's honestly, it's disgusting. You're flicking your butt crack.
I never thought about it till you said it.
Oh, you sit and watch it. It's glorious.
But I remember when I'd be backstage, I'd pick things that were like individual portions, so I was safe.
But you'll see people like grabbing,
grab a Tim Tam.
But you won't grab one chip or crisp or whatever. You'll grab you'll do the whole rustling.
Yeah, don't go for the things in bags.
But you'll grab the whole. You'll see them doing the whole hand rustling thing through everything, or they'll grab a piece of pizza and then not want that flavour. Now that piece of pizza has got gonorrhea.
How long have you watched this table?
Oh, I watch it every competition. It's awesome. And then I look and I try and video it next time. I try and Jedi steer certain people that I may not like so much, or opponents of my
and you're like,
competitors.
Well, it's got pube on it.
I'm like, yeah, steer them towards that gonorrhea piece of pizza. You know, you want that margarita one to the right there, that skanky.
Alright, I'm going to stop you there because you've gone too far.
So, yeah.
So you know that line we talked about? Yeah. You just went, yeah.
Okay. So for digestive reasons, don't touch that food then. So. But it's very nice of you to offer, Sam.
They don't offer that at IFBB.
So, no, they don't. Yeah. So if you want,
your shit.
they're very nice. Don't do it. It's very nice to put that spread on. Any extra final touches or?
Let's think about a final one. I would say my biggest one for first timers is we forgot. Smile.
No, you said smile.
We said smile. My biggest tip is just.
But reconfirm that.
Don't overthink it and have fun. And I know
fun is a big one.
I know it sounds really simple, but like on the day, don't be that loser backstage that doesn't talk to anyone. Jesus. Try to chat with people. Make it fun. You'll be less nervous. You know, if you don't know anyone, get backstage and grab someone and be like, hey, do you want to do some posing together? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's show day. You can't change anything.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, if someone looks better than you and or worse than you and they want to do some posing with you, they're not going to get all your tips in that last 5 seconds. Like, just hang out with people. Exactly. Like, and make sure your family and friends are involved, especially if they've supported you in your prep. Like, try not to go it alone. I think that's a big one. Because your first comp, you have to really lower your expectations. I think that's a big one.
It's better
Don't expect you're going to go in there
try and do well
and win it. But at the same time, because if you set those expectations and you don't have fun, you'll really regret it and you'll probably have a bad experience. And I think my first comp, that's kind of what happened. I had all these people around me telling me I was going to win. And I went in and I didn't win.
It's awful for your ego.
Oh, I felt terrible. I was like embarrassed to tell people how I went. I mean, I came fourth.
I was going to say, did you get a call out?
Fourth,
When you get no call out, that's just an awful
No, I
feeling.
was in like the top call out, but it was a very strong comp. But at the same time, like I felt like crap. And I remember going to work on the Monday and everyone in this gym, a small gym that I worked at, was like, why didn't you win? You look great. And no one really understands. So I think that it's important to also set up the people around you with those expectations that like, I probably won't win. It's my first time. And if I do, it's a bonus, like a great bonus, like Sean. And then I went and did a comp 2 weeks later after that one and I did win. But I had no expectations going in. And I really was like, I'm just doing this for experience. I needed more stage time because my posing was horrendous the first comp.
Yeah. You'll probably be bad.
Yeah.
On the first comp. So it's not a bad idea. You've done all this prep. Why not do 2 comps?
Yeah, it's a great idea.
There's 2 different federations. That's the joy of what Tony Doherty said, is he just came out and said, I don't give a shit if you do my division and then do ICN and then do NABA.
I did IFBB and then ICN and then NABA. I did 3 in a row.
Different judging criteria might suit you differently in different federations.
Well, that's the one we didn't touch on, was make sure that you pick the federation that suits your physique.
Yeah.
As much as I really like IFBB, I'm now in a position where I'm considering doing WBFF because I think it will suit me better.
Wellness.
So I'm starting to learn about different federations rather than trying to fit a mold of a federation that might not suit you. Just because your friends are doing it or whatever, like do one that suits your physique, do your research.
Yeah, it's like me in classic physique. If I want to step up to IFBB and like, because obviously being natural, everyone's like, oh, you should do classic physique. So I'm just not a classic physique shape. No. I've got a blocky waist and I haven't got big long clavicles. And I'm not pretty enough.
You are. You're so pretty.
Oh, thanks.
You're jazzy.
I think
it's the same as wellness. Like you're saying I could do wellness. I don't have a tiny waist.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to have big booty, like gigantic.
It's like Brazilians.
You need to be bottom heavy, whereas I'm quite symmetrical, but just big overall, which is suit WBFF better. So have a realistic look at your physique and go, and your coach will tell you this too. Listen to your coach. I cannot say that enough, but your coach should know enough to go, you're not going to suit that, or I think we should do this show instead, or enter this division. Because that is something that I do believe is important for a coach. I don't think it should be up to the client to go, I'm going to do this show, and not get an opinion, because they're going to do what makes, if they just go by what makes you happy because you think you'll suit it, but you won't, that it's setting you up for more disappointment.
Yeah. If you're, it's like someone saying, I think I should do figure when you're barely bikini.
Yeah.
And then the coach goes, all right, well, if you're going to do
whatever.
When they should, a good coach won't be afraid to say, don't be an idiot.
Like when I asked if I could do figure.
That's what she says. She's like, can I do figure? No.
No, you're shit. You got to shit back.
They tend to be taller, longer limbs and
wide.
Really broad and wide and whatever. And no.
And not have a block waist.
No, you got good legs and you got a pretty face, and you're my bikini girl.
Oh dear. All right. Well, Sean's getting a bit rapey, so.
I would say one last thing is bring as many friends and family as possible because it's
really?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't bring your dad.
No.
Not to bikini.
Why would you not bring your dad?
My dad felt like the biggest creep at my first comp.
That's my girl.
He's like, do I cheer or is that inappropriate?
He looks so sexy. Oh
wait, that's my daughter. Yeah, he said he felt like a bit of like a fish out of water. Yeah. He liked it when I did fitness ICN because it was a bit more jazzy and sporty. But when my dad's gone from watching me on a running track playing a competitive sport to standing in stripper heels on a stage and pushing my bum out and shaking my ass around.
He's like, should I be chucking dollar bills up?
Yeah, he wasn't really sure what was going on. But yeah, I would say, invite the people that you want there. But at the same time, it's your first comp, so maybe you don't want people there. It's your call, I think, at the end of the day.
Disagree.
If you, we could disagree on that. But yeah, if you, for me, I probably wish I hadn't have had as many people at the first one, but probably the second one. Because then less people came to the second one, which was what I did better at.
See, I had probably 2 of my clients and one or two people that half knew me at my first show. And like I had to do a routine for A and B, and literally no one clapped and no one did anything. And it was kind of, it was a bit shit, you know. Whereas previous other comps, when I've had lots of people that know me in the crowd, it's awesome when people shout your name and cheer shit at you. Just throw some banter at you on stage.
Yeah.
It makes you smile.
It is fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, one last tip. When you do your posing, mainly bikini and physique, again, I know we've talked about a lot of this tonight. When you do your first posing on stage, slow down. If you think you are going slow enough, you are not.
Yeah.
Because you will come out and you'll be so nervous, so shaky, so rushed, even bodybuilding routines.
Oh, yeah.
Slow down. Enjoy the moment. You've been training for 6, 12, 18 months for this. Enjoy it. Smile at the judges. Enjoy your time on stage, because that is definitely a mistake I made for my first comp. I rushed through my routine. I literally ran off stage. Was like, get me out of here, instead of actually just being in the moment.
Well, I won best posing routine of the
course
day in
you did.
mine, and I made it up backstage. So good for you.
Don't let me continue about how shit that federation was that you did. At least I started in IFBB.
Got a trophy. How many trophies? I think I got like 9
go.
trophies for that one
How many
comp.
trophies did I get?
To that one comp. I think I got at least 6.
Oh, God. We don't want to stroke your ego anymore.
Yeah. And stroke something else.
Okay.
Alright, any last pointios?
No, I think
we've done alright.
let's summarise. Okay, so my summarise for
Didn't we
girls.
just summarise?
Summarise, invest in a good coach.
Go to a show.
Do heaps and heaps of posing. Invest in your tan, hair and makeup, and assure that they've actually had experience with comps. Be over-organised on the day. Bring extra food, extra everything. Don't touch the food in the centre stage.
Yeah, smile, have fun, and
have fun, don't rush.
And don't get gonorrhea.
Yep, yours? Same?
That's exactly it.
Don't put tan on your face?
Don't put tan on your face.
Or on your dick?
And no, it makes it look bigger. That's the rule.
Don't put bikini bite on your penis?
Oh, Jesus, imagine that.
I don't use bikini bite, FYI, ladies. I don't think it's necessary if you're bikini.
I've never made my girls.
If it's custom fit, you should have no problems.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
If you're buying an off-the-rack bikini that doesn't fit you properly, then yeah, you may need it. So I always think that's another one you can touch on. Don't buy a second-hand bikini or one.
I don't think so either.
Or one that you can't get custom fit. Yeah. Like if you buy second-hand, go still get it custom fit.
You have to then get it.
Go get it adjusted. Yeah, because I had a client wear one of mine, like M wore mine, but she just got it adjusted.
Yeah.
Some posing trunks, because otherwise you're fiddling around with your dick on stage.
Well, one of my clients who didn't get on stage because his job didn't allow him to, I bought his trunks off of him that he didn't use for Karatha.
That's gross,
and, that he didn't use. Oh. And yeah, they didn't fit me at all.
No.
So
his penis wasn't big enough.
No, well, exactly. You know.
You're like, it was actually baggy.
It's really baggy. Yeah. I'm just all balls anyway. So, and that's smash one out on comp morning. Okay. And you won't be all balls. Yeah.
Well, that is it. That is comp tips. If you guys would like any more contest prep podcasts, we can go in more into depth in terms of the actual nutrition, training, science, picking, whatnot, reverse dieting.
Exactly a portion of contest prep.
Yeah, but it's an important one. Presentation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely like coming out of the show was definitely a big mistake that I made for my first comp. So I think we'll do another episode on reverse dieting and coming out of shows if you guys want it.
Yeah.
Then please comment away on social media, or you can send either of us an email. My email address is just my name, alice@aliceround.com, or Sean@Mclaneytrain.com, or you can hit us up for any contest prep related questions at hello@musclearchitects.com. just musclearchitects.com. We'll pop the details down below anyway, but that is our contest prep business that we run with Erin, and we'll definitely be having Erin on the show soon.
She's on stage in...
She's looking fucking shredded and making me feel like a fatty.
When you're so shredded that your belly button pretty much becomes like a little penis.
Yeah, she's crazy. So shout out Erin, Old Ming. We're going to have to get you on the podcast because she's a mum who's had 2 kids and got that shredded. So I think she'll be a great one to get on here. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into episode number 2 of what?
Bodies.
Yeah.
Barbells.
And bagels. And like we said, please leave us a review on iTunes and let us know if you have any topics that you would love to see in the future. You need to get in contact with either of us, RE coaching, mentoring, any of that jazz. All our shenanigans are below. And that is it. Wrap it up, Mclaney.
Done diddly. We'll see ya. What did I say last wrap up? See ya, peasants. And you didn't like that. So, toodaloo. Tally ho. Oh, dude.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah.